NYU students are helping refugees in a lot of different ways. Some are lending their legal advice, others are protesting, as you can see behind me, and one student in particular is taking a more fashionable approach. We've seen a lot of storm damage here tonight in Grant County, and I just want to show you one of the hardest hit areas here in Lancaster. You can see that this large tree was completely uprooted by the strong winds, and that it took some of this concrete sidewalk with it. A warning this morning about the dangers of using counterfeit makeup and other knockoff products like toothpaste and cologne. U.S. Customs and Border Protection seized a record number of counterfeit goods last year, worth nearly $1.4 billion. Last week, President Trump spoke here, addressing the United Nations and warning North Korea that the U.S. would completely destroy the country if forced to protect themselves or their allies.
School is back in session for 20-year-old NYU student Anna Garcia, and going to class is a luxury she doesn't take for granted. Just over 4 months ago, Anna's routine changed after Hurricane Maria devastated her home in Puerto Rico.
All of the water was coming into our family room in my house. My dad was trying to hold all the doors together. The next day I remember completely. That was the most horrific thing. Being able to walk out of your house and just seeing everything that was destroyed. The trees and all the debris, the houses, the cars. Nobody was expecting it to be this horrific and this big.
Although there was no sign of consistent electricity coming to her neighborhood, her school, the University of Puerto Rico, reopened just 2 weeks after the storm. But it wasn't so easy to carry on as usual.
Even when we got back, we weren't able to do much because we had no Wi-Fi, we had no printers, we had no power.
Everything changed when her dad heard on the news that NYU would accept students from Puerto Rico for the spring semester.
I didn't even wait a day to apply. He called me. I started doing the application right then and there.
New York University will cover the housing, meal plan, and tuition for more than 50 students like Anna, whose education was disrupted by the hurricanes.
So far, Anna is loving her experience in New York City.
Everything has been good and amazing, and I'm loving it. I'm enjoying every minute of it, really.
While being at NYU this semester allows Anna to focus on school, she can't help but think about the damage that is still affecting her friends and family back home.
Everybody just thinks that it's over and that, everybody's fine now, that it passed. But no, half of the island is still without power. Some people don't even have water still. People's homes are still destroyed. So yeah, I just think everybody needs to be well informed.
Even though Anna is at NYU to learn, she hopes that while she is here, she can teach other students that Puerto Ricans are still dealing with destruction. For NYU Now, this is Talia Milavetz. A ladybug, a pope, and a dragon walk into a park. This isn't a joke. This is the 19th annual Dog Halloween Costume Contest, held every year in Fort Greene Park. This was the biggest year yet, with more than 2,500 people in attendance.
This is Long Boy Lincoln, and he's one of the many dogs here at the 19th annual Great Pumpkin Dog Halloween Contest. He's dressed as Drogon from Game of Bones.
But it wasn't just the pooches who were in costume. In many entries, man dressed up with his best friend. Some costumes took weeks to prepare.
There's over 1,000 hand-cut scales on the costume, and everything is all handmade.
Others joined the fun last minute.
If I already owned this bacon suit, my aunt had given it to me one time, and this morning my girlfriend was like, I want to go to the dog parade, but we need to dress Ansel up. So she cut a pillowcase and made him eggs.
And although it's Halloween, there was not a black cat in sight at this festival for pups. For NYU Now, I'm Talia Milavetz. NYU's concrete canoe team is making a splash. They're competing against 8 teams in the metro area to see who can make the best canoe out of concrete and race it the fastest. If they win, it's on to nationals for the chance to win bragging rights and $5,000 in scholarship money. Team advisor NYU Professor Wei-Hua Jin says it's a heavy task.
The canoe competition is not just about making concrete. It's about everything. Okay? It's about designing a canoe. It's about researching. It's about community involvement. It's about leadership. It's about communication skills.
Everyone is welcome aboard for this annual competition, not just concrete experts. Mechanical engineering junior Sofia Fernandez says she learned on the spot.
I don't know anything about boats or even structural analysis. I haven't taken the same classes that civil engineers take. You can figure things out, and by the end, you understand more than you did before.
If this canoe were made of concrete from Home Depot, it would weigh 500 pounds. But because they mix the concrete with air, it weighs 220 pounds, allowing me to float.
Concrete is twice as heavy as water, so they need all hands on deck to make it float. The key is to make the outside layers as dense as possible while keeping the inside light. Freshman Kira Friend says it's a time-consuming task.
I ended up spending 20 hours in the lab whenever we were making the canoe. It was just a super duper hectic time, but it was also one of the best times because it's a sort of controlled chaos.
But will past NYU teams have had the brains to build the canoe? They have come up short with the power needed to propel it.
One aspect that we definitely need to work with is paddling, and this year they've been training a lot.
Go!
They ran a tight ship on competition day, and their paddling practice paid off. They won 3 out of the 5 races and placed second in the other 2. Captain Bennett Gauchin and paddler Nader Ahmed credit their success to teamwork.
I think this guy, his encouragement while we were paddling, it really helped. He was really guiding me forward. So, yeah, I think that really helped a lot.
Bennett killed the turn, that U-turn. It was absolutely perfect.
The team nailed the flotation test and impressed the judges and competitors with their display.
How did you do the inside? That's so cool.
They won first place in all categories,
NYU!
securing a spot at nationals.
Absolutely fantastic. Everyone put in so much work, and there's so many hours, and it all paid off.
And this is a history for NYU, for the school, for students. They are my kids.
When the NYU team heads to nationals in June, they hope their team will still be as strong as concrete. For NYU Tonight, I'm Talia Milavetz.